Bedtime is our biggest struggle. I stay in the room with them until they fall asleep.
Jonathan has a smaller toddler bed, so I'll lay on the floor. I'll hold hands with him just to make sure he goes to sleep.
Are you kidding me?
Both boys at different times of the night will wake up and come into our bed. They sprawl out all over the bed.
I'm usually backed into a corner or there's a foot in my face.
I honestly haven't slept in 4 years and I'm exhausted.
Supernanny, we need your help.
Finally, these parents have said something with authority. Hey, Cabby, you couldn't step on it, could you? A family needs my help right now.
Come on, don't give me a hard time.
It was almost 8 o'clock, which is time for the boys to go to bed. However, these kids are fearful of being separated from their parents.
Come on, stop.
Once Dad dragged Ryan into the bedroom, things started to calm down.
We try to read to them in bed, and then Ryan will bide for Fancy's attention and say, Mommy, sleep with me. And I'll try to hold Jonathan's hand so he stays calm.
Dad did get up when he thought that Jonathan had fallen asleep, but that was wishful thinking.
This is what we're gonna do.
Hey,
What are you doing?
Easy. Come with me.
Almost 45 minutes later, nobody was going to sleep. In fact, these boys thought it was time for midnight feasting, with Mum and Dad's approval.
So what is this? This is the snack before the bed or the...
This is like a little snack. Usually, I don't know what this is.
Finally, the boys were in their bed, with Mum and Dad right next to them. Jonathan fell asleep, which meant that Dad could get up, but Mum was still there. Because these kids are fearful of being separated from their parents, it's meant that bedtime has been like a circus for this family, so I need to deal with it head on.
We're going to do the sleep separation technique. The beds are set up like this.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want the pair of you to do is to be facing this way. You're looking away from them and you're at an angle. There will be no talking. Okay, there will be no conversations had whatsoever. This technique gives the child reassurance that you're around without having to be in their bed, but they're initiating sleep by themselves.
And in case the kids got up in the middle of the night, what I did was to give Mum and Dad the second technique called the stay in bed technique.
You're going to take your child by the hand, tuck him into bed and say, it's bedtime, darling. If they get up a second time, you'll say to them, it's bedtime. And if the third time they get up and try and come back into your bed, you'll say nothing.
I then gave Mum and Dad some earpieces so they could hear my instructions clearly on my walkie-talkie. And then I set up camp in the living room with my monitor.
I love you so much.
Okay, guys, let's turn the lights off.
I didn't know how the kids were gonna handle it, how I was gonna handle it.
I don't like sleeping in my own bed.
You know, it's been close to 5 years that this has been going on, so it's it's in their brain.
Jonathan fell asleep pretty quickly, so I got Dad straight out of there. But that's when the fireworks began. Aside from everything else, Mum was just worried that the screaming was going to wake up Jonathan, and then there would be 2 kids screaming.
I want to go in your room.
The worst part was that I couldn't talk to him.
Mommy, I want to tell you something. Mommy, I want to tell you.
I felt really bad that I couldn't communicate to him why this was happening, why I was doing this.
As you know now, he's desperate for the communication, but he needs to learn this is nighttime, and nighttime means no conversation. It means bedtime.
Oh, Mommy, Mommy. Give me a kiss, Mommy. I want to hold your hand.
Betsy, you're doing real good.
If Joe was not talking to me in the earpiece, I would have definitely crashed. I wouldn't have made it through.
If he's fully asleep, you might as well come out.
After 90 minutes, both boys were asleep. But inevitably, they were going to wake up in the middle of the night like they've done for years.
So tonight, when you retire off to bed, when the kids do come in, what you're going to do is to adopt the stay in bed technique.
Basically, we just hold their hands, walk them right into bed and say, good night, darling. And that's it. Second time, good night. Third time, Nothing.
Yeah.
Shortly after midnight, Dad got a chance to do the second technique.
Hi, how are you?
Remember the technique?
Come on. Come back to bed, come on.
Greg, you're not doing it properly. Remember, don't panic. You just be very quiet. You're like, shh, shh, you're doing all of this. Shh, shh, shh. You just take them and say, it's bedtime, darling.
Okay.
And tuck them into bed, okay?
And then Jonathan started to call Mum's name from his bed. And that's when Mum's heart started to break.
But can we go over there and like soothe him, even though he's in his bed?
Do you think that anything you do will soothe him? What do you think will soothe him right now?
If I give him a hug,
Do you think that's enough? What does he want? What soothes him?
going to sleep in our bed.
Soothe him? And you walk out the room and he'll cry again. That's what he wants, is in bed. He wants your bed.
Jonathan came out, Ryan came out. Mum went in, Dad went in, Mum came out, Dad went out. I mean, it went on for quite a while.
Mommy, I don't like my room. I want to sleep with Mommy.
They were crying, they were upset. It was definitely hard. I didn't think it would ever be over.
I don't want to sleep in my bed.
These parents did stick with the stay in bed technique and they took the child back into their bed. The boys were finally in their bed and quiet for the time being. But it was around 2 o'clock in the morning and we were all pretty exhausted. Mum and Dad had done extremely well, but it was time for me to leave to see how they'll do without me.
I'm leaving you for a couple of days. Everything you've been taught, I want to see you guys implement. Seriously, if you guys do not do it while I'm away, you're going to go back to square one. If you have them in this bed tonight, you're cheating them, you're cheating yourself.
This family are depleted, sleep deprived. So it's going to be even more important that when I leave, they continue to do this technique. It wouldn't surprise me if when that front door shuts, those kids hear it and they're running back in that bedroom.
I'll see you in a couple of days. Give the kids a kiss for me when they wake up. You're welcome. I'll see you when I get back.
They do know full well what they need to do whilst I'm gone, starting from keeping those boys in bed tonight. The question is, will they have the willpower to do it? This family had a lot to work on in my absence, and I really do hope that they've been able to stick with the techniques that I left them.
Good morning.
Hello.
I didn't know what she may hone in on, what she might say.
Are we ready to take a look at the DVD? Yeah, sure. I didn't sound too enthusiastic.
Throw it right at us, whatever you have.
All right, let's take a look at this. Bedtime after I went, okay?
Yes.
See you in a couple of days. Give the kids a kiss for me when they wake up.
I'm not gonna It's fine.
What I see when I watch that is basically you guys recognising the importance of everybody getting sleep. Yes. The fact that you had the strength to put them back and hold faith in the technique that you know that you can do is what's going to give you the results. And already you're seeing them. So just keep on with that.